Truth about kickers versus you practicing.
Those guys, obviously, their practice is much briefer, but when they're not practicing, they have their stretching routines they do. They go to the weight room quite a bit. Graham's big on the weight room, and Brad's big on stretching along with JJ. So those guys, even though they're maybe not having as long of a practice, they're still getting a lot of work done.
All right.
They don't necessarily.
Okay, you got his back.
That's my guy.
There you go. He got what a teammate Luke is.
So I mean, the second one, he said 7 tackles. That's like half a quarter for you, right?
It's like 7 plays.
That's great, man. Luke Kuechly's with us, Graham. You know, last thing for Graham, though, before we let you go is, I did see the NFL Network piece, Ryan Khalil taking us around the facility. Luke, I don't know if you've been in their little special teams, their little kicking teams office there. There's a basketball hoop up on the door, and there is a putter in there. So I do believe when they say they're in there, like doing something, there's some games being played.
You never know. We're always doing something. I didn't say what that something was.
Okay,
We're doing it.
Hey, man, nice to meet you, Graham. We appreciate it. Thanks so much for joining us.
Just leave it to an all-pro to kick your butt right off that microphone.
Wouldn't expect anything less.
Is that the way it goes?
You're my guy. Kick a 70-yarder for me.
All right,
Luke
thanks.
Kuechly is in the house here at training camp with us. We appreciate it. How's this thing going? Is this my big question with the defense is, and my belief is, you guys will get back to being a top 5 defense this year. You weren't as consistent as you were 2 years ago, last season. Do you feel safe in saying that we're going to be consistent the whole way through, more like 2013 than it was last year?
I'd like to say that the biggest thing is being consistent. That's what hurt us last year. Is we played some games great, we played some games not so great, and towards the end of the year we finally picked it up. And NFL is big on consistency. You can be the most consistent throughout the years. Usually one of the better teams, and that's been one of our mantras: is can't be consistent. You know, whether it's the first period of practice, middle of practice, end of practice, meetings, whatever it is, you got to be the same guy. And hopefully that guy is a guy that's tuned in and ready to go.
I know there's always somebody to step up. You know, that's what they say in the NFL. It's a hell of a nice thing, and it's kind of hard to step up for a guy like TD, for Thomas, or for you for that matter. So when he's injured last season out of a game, not having him on your side, having your back, how different is that for you? I know you've got to rely on the next guy, but you know what I'm saying? When Thomas is out there, it's not the same, is it?
Well, the fortunate part for us is the guy who played at Thomas, Spotty J. Klein, did a great job. He's a lot like Thomas, smart, intelligent. AJ can run, and obviously he did a great job on the field. But obviously Thomas was right there. It's like he traveled to the game, and he was like having him on the field, except I just had to wait to get the sideline. So it ended up working out. You know, obviously that game we weren't consistent like we needed to be, but AJ stepped up, did a great job, and he's having a great camp right now.
Now Thomas was always known for his speed because he played a little bit of safety. Really, when he first got here, coming out of Georgia, you too know who the fastest is for 40 or heavens. So you just say it right off the bat. At any distance, he's got you.
I don't know. I know in a 40, once he gets going, he's a tough guy. Wow. I think he's faster than a lot of guys in the team too.
Now here's the thing though, like when we watch you play, I mean it's not like you're not me out there running with a big beer gut either. I mean I want you to, like you do know that, but I'm just repeating that. Do you can make up for speed though, right? Yeah. I mean like you look unbelievably fast, but a lot of times is it just you know what they're doing, instincts or diagnosing a play or just prep? Like how much can you make yourself faster by just being a smart football player?
If you know what's going on, it's going to give you an extra step. You know, if you're looking at a formation, if you've seen it in practice, you know the coaches have talked about it, you've seen it on tape, and you take the first step in the right direction, you're faster than somebody that's way faster than you. If you've got a super speedy guy next to you, and he takes a step in the wrong direction, then he's got to count on that step and go back. You know, the guy that knows what's going on is already gone. And I think that's where it comes. There's track speed, there's 40 speed, and there's football speed. I think they're two totally different things, and I think intelligence and understanding the game can make you faster.
You talked after FanFest about how, man, you were blown away by the amount of people that were there, 55,000 people. We could tell you appreciated it. You could tell we're jacked up as fans. I mean, is there a feeling inside that locker room like that you guys, my feeling is, man, you're building towards something. I can't wait to see the next chapter. Like, is there a feeling like that with you guys? Like, man, we're on the cusp of something great.
When you walked out into the Fan Fest and you saw the people, you understood that. And obviously, it's super important to us. You know, that's a given. But to see how important it is for everybody else is really cool. When you walk out there. And it's not like they were just sitting there and watching. They were into it. They were loud. There was energy, and I think that gives a lot of juice to the guys on the team. You know, we've had a long couple of days down here, and then you get up there, and it's very refreshing to see how involved the fans are and how much they appreciate us and how much they support us. And you know, that goes a long way. And I hope all the fans understand how much we appreciate it and how far it goes having that fulfilled connection.
I know this guy is retired now, but since it's you, I don't think that'll turn people off. Okay, your cover skills. I know whenever you're interviewing, you talk about them. What part of that skill do you want to tweak on from last year and improve on this year?
I think just being patient. You know, a lot of the stuff you got to be patient on routes. You can't be too aggressive because too aggressive gets you out of position. And I thought I did a little bit better job on it last year, but at times I still got a little too antsy, a little too aggressive. I really got to slow myself down, and that'll help me out because a lot of these guys run routes off leverage, and if your leverage gets too high, you're in trouble. Good quarterbacks, Matt Ryan, Drew Brees, put him in the spot and skate for real quick. So you got to be patient with stuff, but at the same time, you got to have that. So it's a unique relationship.
So Luke, when you say you don't want to be antsy and too aggressive too fast, I mean you don't want to be on them too much.
Yeah.
As quickly as you've been getting on them, because then they can use your body and use their body to play basketball, but use everything.
Exactly. All they got to do is turn around and they're open. In the NFL or in college, kind of if you're near them, you can guard. In the NFL, if they turn around and they got an arm open, it's a completion. So you got to work on that.
We're talking with Luke Kuechly live at camp. You're on the back attack with your Panthers. Luke, you like when most guys have a contract issue coming up. I mean, you have 1 year left. You have the option year, $11 million next year. But when contract stuff's in the news and players are asking about it, they'll say, "Oh, I'm just focusing on football." And I don't mind. Most guys, I don't believe. Most guys, I'm like, man, they're getting ready to get this big deal. They have to be thinking about it.
Yeah.
With you, I honestly think you don't give a hoot. Like, I think honestly, you're like, hey, that's going to come when that's going to come, but I got to keep playing. Do you want it to get done? Gettleman said, hey, there's a deadline for these sort of things before the regular season. Do you check with your agent a lot right now, or is it to the point where you just literally believe it's going to happen?
That's one good thing about down here.
You do that way.
Stuff.
It's 52 we have
Those guys upstairs, that's their job. My job is to run around out here.
So now let's talk about would you play? You play for. I truly believe you play for the love of the game. Some guys I don't know if I should believe it when they say it. Like if we offered you this same job for $10 an hour, or you could go use your degree now that you got this off season and go work somewhere else, make more money. Like would you still play football? I believe you play football for $10 an hour.
As long as I can. That's one of those things that you enjoy doing, and sometimes it's difficult, and sometimes you wonder why you're doing it. But at the end of the day, you're with all your buddies playing a game you're playing since you're a little kid. That's sometimes.
All right, man. Well, we love watching you play. Best of luck this year, and thanks for coming on with us.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it. There you go, Luke Kuechly, your Carolina Panthers.